Hi everyone, I'm Angie Bailey,
And I'm Aurora Newton.
and we're Ask the A-Team.
So today we would like to talk about patterns in people's lives, patterns in our own lives, and what happens when we find ourselves in the same cycle over and over again. Should be a clue when you are revisiting something, and most of the time when we're revisiting that and it's a bad thing, it's painful.
Yeah.
So there's a question that
Yeah.
we need to ask ourselves, like, what's going on here, and what can I change?
Yes, absolutely. Who's it? Einstein that says it's insanity to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different outcome.
But get the same result.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
good.
that it is really, really painful. It's like a scab. It's like
Like
reopening
what we talked about
something
before,
over and over and over
Ripping
again.
off that scab.
Yes. Yeah. So what are the patterns in your life? I know I have patterns. And thank goodness wisdom and time has taught me, and accountability and other people
Right.
speaking into my lives um, has taught me to um, recognize earlier and earlier on. Like sometimes,
Right.
at
Right.
first
That's
when I started
important.
recognizing them, it was like, oh, I was already kind of in the middle of the problem, or found myself in the middle of a situation. And it's like, oh, here I am again. But now it's like you sense the behavior right when it first starts. It's like, oh, wait a minute, nope, can't go down that road
Right.
again.
And that's so important
Yeah.
to see where you're headed and
Mhm.
stop if you know it's
Mhm.
in a wrong direction or the same pattern that you've
Yeah.
been in before. I struggled with food addiction for years and years and years and years and years, and it was actually just this January. That I feel like I had breakthrough in that. It was the same pattern when I was upset. I would go to food, and it didn't matter if I was eating healthy food, I would overeat it. So that was a pattern that I had visited over and over again in my life through the years, up and down and weight and everything. But it was just in January where I really felt like I went to another level with the Lord. He called me to break this addictive pattern in my life of food. And the only way that I did that is pressing into Him and really paying attention, like Angie said, to, oh, wait a minute, something's bothering me right now. Why am I going to eat another carrot or, whatever that is?
Yeah.
Why am I going for that?
Mhm.
And so what I had to do was I had to just stop, recognize that, and then I would pray about it and just really process, why am I going there?
Absolutely. I know one of my patterns is self-reliance. I'll get myself into something and, oh, I can do this, I can handle this, and I
She's
can
woman.
hear me meow.
No, she can
roar. And I'll get in the middle of something and I'm like, oh, I've done it again. I'm in over my head. And so it's recognizing one thing, and we've talked about this before, is not even saying yes to some of the things that I shouldn't be saying yes to. So that's one of my patterns in cycles in life.
And it's okay that, like Angie said, and we've talked about that in a previous segment, even how we use that as accountability with us. But it is okay if you find yourself in the middle of that, and you can say, you know what, I made this decision, and I know I said yes, but this was a wrong choice.
Yeah.
It really is okay to stop that in the middle of it and ask for forgiveness from the person that you're dealing with, and just try and move on from that, because it'll help break those patterns or break those cycles. It's just really important to do that, to stop it the minute that you know that it is starting, or the minute that you're in that cycle again. And it can be anything. It could be, like we talked about, self-reliance. It could be food addiction. It could be relationships. Do you find yourself in the same type of relationship over and over and over again, going, what's going on? Why does this always happen? If you're asking yourself those questions, get a clue. You may be stuck in a circle, in that cyclical pattern. And the only way to get out is to change the direction, to change the course, to change the decisions that you're making.
Yeah, and I think one of the most important things that you can do with that is to recognize where you've been before. So it may even be as practical as sitting down and saying, I've dealt with this before. Write it down. Whatever you need to do. Make a list of things you've, sexual immorality, food addiction, self-reliance, friendships, unhealthy
Right.
relationships.
Negativity. I mean, we could go on and
You
on.
could go on and on, but make that list and hold yourself to it. Find again somebody trustworthy that can help you with that accountability, and recognize it the second that it starts, and saying, oh, wait a minute, this is the first step in my old pattern, and I need to turn away from this if
Right.
I don't want to end up in the same bad place that I ended up before, because we want to make progress, right? We don't want to just
Absolutely.
that cyclical pattern.
Cyclical pattern. I love that word, cyclical. There's
So
an old
those 75-cent words.
75-cent words. I don't usually throw a lot of those out, but I like cyclical. There's an old expression that says, if you keep on doing what you've always done,
Mhm.
you'll keep on getting what you've always gotten.
Yeah.
So we want the best for you. We want the best for us. And we know more than that, that God wants the best for you in your
Absolutely.
life. So think about that. Think about how you're patterning your life, and what you could change that would bring your life into a different outcome.
Yeah.
So we are going to sign off for today.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us. And please, if this helped you in any way, like and share it.
Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.